What if you stopped eating sugar for 30 days? Well, I did an experiment. I stopped eating sugar for over 120 days, and in this video, I'm going to share my results. If you've ever worried about the amount of sugar you eat, if you are diabetic, if you're pre-diabetic, or you feel like you've got some weight to lose, then you need to watch this video. My name's Dave Mack, and before we get started, I'd really appreciate it if you could smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. It really helps me to grow the channel and to get the word out there about health. And before we get started, I should say I'm not a doctor. This is not medical advice. Before you change anything about your diet, it's important that you talk to your doctor because your doctor best knows your individual situation. That said, let's get into it. Now, what happens if you stop eating sugar for 30 days? Well, I'll share my experience about what happened to me when I gave up sugar for over 30 days, and then I'll tell you the things you need to do if you want to give up sugar too. The first thing that I noticed when I stopped eating sugar was my improved sleep. And this improved sleep happened instantly. After just one day of giving up sugar, the next morning I woke up full of energy. I woke up before my alarm and I bounced out of bed ready to go. So if you struggle with your sleep, if you struggle with waking up in the morning, and if you struggle getting started once you get out of bed, giving up sugar might be something that you really want to consider. The second thing that giving up sugar did for me is in very short order, my skin started to look better. It isn't something I could measure, but just looking in the mirror in the morning, I could tell I had more of a glow. I was looking healthier. The bags under my eyes weren't so strong, and the blemishes started to go. The third thing that I improved was my focus. Whether you're at work or school, during the day you've got lots of things that can distract you. That could be multiple tasks that you're working on, that could be a message coming through on your smartphone, that could be an email coming through on the computer, that could be anything. And with all these things happening, it's very difficult to get time and actually focus on one particular task. But for me, when I gave up sugar, after the first day or two, I was able to focus on just one task. If my smartphone buzzed while I was doing some work, I was able to continue and focus and get the work done. The fourth thing that improved is I started to lose weight. And I noticed a difference in my weight within about 3 days. Of course, that difference in my weight wasn't dramatic, but that difference was on the scales, but first noticed in the mirror. And it sounds a little bit strange, but when I was getting ready for work and I was checking myself in the mirror, I suddenly realized I looked less saggy. Of course, I then went on to jump on the scales and realized I'd lost more than a pound. The fifth thing that I noticed is I didn't have highs and lows throughout the day. And what do I mean by this? Well, let's take your average day at work. So let's say you wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning, you have breakfast around 7, you get ready for work, you leave for work. By 10 a.m., how are you feeling? You're most likely feeling peckish. You're most likely feeling quite jittery around the idea of food. You're probably drinking your second or third coffee, and you're starting to lose focus. So for me, that is the downward slide. Then what happens is you have a snack and you get a bit more energy, you do a little bit of work, but in the back of your mind, you're thinking, I'm just doing this little bit of work to tide me over until I've got time to go for lunch. You have your lunch, you start to feel nice and full, you come back to the office, and what happens? Then you feel exhausted. And then again, you experience this downward slide. So you're experiencing this after lunch slump. So next, what do? You try and do a little bit of work, but you can't focus. And so it gets closer and closer to 3 o'clock, and you have that afternoon snack. That perks you up again, and then you start doing a little bit more work in anticipation of the end of the day arriving. Gets to 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, it's time to go home. Then you have dinner and your energy spikes a little bit more. So throughout the day, it's this constant up and down roller coaster, and a lot of the time you don't feel like you're actually able to work because you're always thinking about when the next snack is coming, when the next bit of food is coming. Now, the amazing thing is when you stop eating sugar, those kind of spikes, those highs and lows, those peaks and troughs, they go away. Because when you're not eating sugar anymore, you're no longer consuming this drug that's sending your body crazy every time you ingest it. So, if you want to try giving up sugar for 30 days, here's what I recommend you do starting from today. Stop eating anything that comes in a package. Now, of course, there are not sugars in everything that's in a package. However, if something is in a package, it means it's been processed by someone. And more often than not, when some kind of food stuff is processed, then it will have some kind of sugar added to it. And the bonus, if you take this simple approach of just thinking, if it's in a package, I'm not going to eat it, is that you cut out a lot of unnecessary chemicals as well. So what can you eat? You can eat anything that you can buy on the outer perimeter of the supermarket. If you have to walk into the middle of the supermarket and what you're buying is in a package, then you can't eat it. If you can buy it in the outer perimeter of the supermarket and it doesn't come in a flashy package, then it's safe, with one exception. If you want to stop eating sugar for 30 days, you must stop eating fruit. Now, while fruit can be healthy with some of the vitamins that are contained in fruit, fruit does contain sugar. Fruit contains fructose, which is going to have the exact same effect in your body as eating a candy bar. And if you want to actually stop eating sugar for 30 days, you need to stop eating fruit. No more apples, no more pineapples, no more oranges, none of this stuff. Eat real food. Eat meat, eat fish, eat cheese, eat eggs, this kind of stuff. Food that naturally comes from an animal. And one more thing, I'm not talking about bread. Bread comes in a package. Bread has been processed. I remember reading a study years ago that said that white bread, a slice of white bread, spikes your insulin more than a Snickers bar. So just think about that the next time you're spreading butter on your toast. But let's do it, guys. Let's do the 30-day no sugar challenge. Start today. Only animal products, only natural products. Cut out the sugar. You will look and feel better. Here's the change in me in 120 days. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to click like and subscribe, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next video.